Good morning. Well, I'm up on the training pool today, and as you can see, it is incredibly overgrown. So I had been letting some of the plants grow up a little bit because I want to discourage people from walking along it, but it's getting a bit too overgrown now. You can hardly see the water. As you walk along, you keep getting branches like this keep catching you on the head. So yes, my plan for today is to cut these branches back and give plenty of access. But before I do that, I need to get this grass down. So right, let's get the strimmer. Right, well that's the grass cut. It's looking 100 times better already. So now for the trees. Right, so on to the trees. So I'm going to start from this end and work my way back. And in the past I've literally cut these as far as I can reach so you can walk underneath it clearly. Now I'm getting fed up because they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and they keep bleeding over, causing more and more problems. So my plan is to be really harsh with them this time and cut them right back. So they're back over there somewhere where they're supposed to be. Now to help me with this I have brought myself a new toy. So I have brought myself a petrol shredder. So that does 4" or 10 centimetres, so about the size of your arm, so should be big enough. And yeah, hopefully just cut them, shove them through that, they're gone. I don't have to drag them up to the fire pile, I don't have to lift them again. Once they're gone, they're gone. So yeah, let's start trimming, get a pile together, and then see how this shredder works. Right, well that should be enough to get started. Now I know with shredders it's good to run them when they're warm, so get a batch together and do a big load rather than little bits and pieces. But one, this is the first time I've ever used it, so I want to make sure it all works properly. And two, I've not exactly got a lot of space to put stuff, so I don't want it under my feet. So yeah, let's get this on. Right, well that seems to work well. So cleared that pile in no time at all. It's now into wood chip that's just disappeared off into the undergrowth there, so brilliant. So like most shredders, it's got the same typical problems because of the safety device of the long chute here. Straight things go through no problem whatsoever. If it branches or bends, then obviously it's a little bit more difficult to get it through. I did notice halfway through I hadn't tightened this, so that flap went back down and blocked the chute, but it didn't get clogged up, which was excellent, so we're looking good from that point of view. Now when I put the big piece through, it did stop, but I can't work out, I'll have to look back at the footage. It might be that it bogged down because it wasn't up to temperature, or it might be that I just happened to catch the stop bar that goes around the edge here. So hopefully it isn't a thing that I'm going to keep catching that bar. If it is, then I might just have to adjust it slightly. Right, well let's get some more cut. So I had this problem with the last shredder I hired. If you turn it off and it's not completely clear, I don't know if you can make it out. Stupid flaps. Yeah, there is a large chunk of wood just wedged underneath the blade, and that's enough to stop it from turning. So that needs to come out so I can start it back up again. So let's see how easy this is. I might have to take the chute off. Well, it's noisy, but it's working well. So with the big branches, they will go through when the shredder's up to temperature. But to be honest, I've been using those. When you get a lot of small branches, they don't draw through, they get bunched up. So it's quite nice using that to push them in, and then you don't have to worry if you accidentally let go, it just shreds that as well. So yeah, that's probably the last I'm going to record of the shredding. So I'll just get on to the cutting and it'll just magically disappear now. Yeah, so this is the bit I'm going to do next. Now you can see there's quite a cluster coming off of there, and then it's sort of bent over, snapped, rotted, and then another branch coming off this way that's bent and snapped. So I'm going to start by trying to clear those, clear that one that's leaning on this, and it's a bit of like reverse Jenga, because it's, if you cut that branch, this one's leaning on it, and that's supporting that branch. So yeah, let's see how I do. What you doing down there? Don't go sleeping on the job. Really beginning to hate jobs like this. So these are jobs that I asked the owner if I could do them about 5 years ago, because it's places for sale, so everything's, oh no, leave it to the next person, leave it to the next person. Well, the next person's not come yet, so that means that we've got 5 years more growth on this, which means it's even bigger. So I've got this branch here that I'm constantly whacking my head on, which, as you can see, it's come up and over and bent there and snapped there. So that's not sturdy enough to actually hold the weight of the plant. This one here that I tried cutting is split into 3. Now, as I cut through that, because of the angle of everything, it closed up on the saw. Because I can't go any further that way, because it drops off down the bank somewhere under that undergrowth. So cutting out above your head's not a great idea, and I don't want that dropping on me. But I've managed to free that up, and I thought, right, so I've got this branch floating in midair. I need to deal with that. I need to get that out of the way in case some idiot comes through the gate and wanders down here, clearly into a working area. But I have to make it safe. So it was this branch here that was holding it up, so I thought I'd cut it. But of course it's closed up on my saw again. So you go, right, fine, I'll use the little electric saw that I've brought. No, because the battery is flat. So I now can't go and get a replacement battery for that, because that's all the way up in the shed. Because I've now got a chainsaw hanging from a tree that's hanging from another tree, which I've got to try and deal with the tools that I've got around me, without dropping anything on my head. This is doing my head in. Right, let's see what I can do. Say that again? The path doesn't go anywhere. Right, now that's down and safe, I can now go and get the replacement battery for my little saw, and I can get this cleared up. And then I'm going to have to cut that branch back up there as well, because where I cut it under tension, it'll shred it, so yeah. Okay, well they just leave the gate open, that's fine. It's not like it says something on it, like, please shut the gate, trading pool only, no through route. Right, new battery. This is the other thing that does my head in with the willow. So I want to cut this branch here because it's dangling around in the wind. So where do I cut this? It goes up, across and down, and I'm going to cut it there. That's where it's attached, there. This is stupid. Right, well I think that's enough of a mess made, so I'm going to clear this up and I'll show you what it all looks like afterwards. See you in a bit. Right, well that's all cleared up, and I think that's all I'm going to do on this section for today, because I am starting to get worn out. But that is the beauty of owning the shredder rather than having it on hire, is I can stop at lunchtime and move on to a gentler task, and I can pick this up another day. Whereas if I had that on hire, I'd be pushing myself to try and get it all done today and wearing myself out. So the shredder itself is working really well. I might have to adjust that stop button because it is a little bit too sensitive. I can't remove it because obviously you need it on there, but I do keep catching it and that shuts the machine off, which is irritating. But yeah, so the logs in the trolley here, they won't fit through the shredder, but they're of a decent size for firewood, so I'm not going to complain. That seems to be the perfect size for what I need. Anything that fits through the shredder, shredded, gone, and I can just walk away from it. The bigger logs like that, the owner will cut up, use as firewood in the house, so excellent for that. But along here, compared to this morning, it really does look so much better. You can walk along here without getting hit in the face. So I've trimmed the branches on this bit just so you can walk underneath them, but it is halfway down here where it was really bad. So these two benches here this morning, you couldn't really get to them. Sitting at them you might have been able to do, but fish from them certainly not. So this is the bit where I've taken the most of it out. So not only has it opened it up, allowed more light in, so the grass should start growing back. We've still got the silver birch there for dappled shade, which is a lot nicer than the willow. But I've also opened up this view, because by removing those branches you can now see down to the bottom lake there, which looks wonderful. So also trimmed the rhododendron back there, so I can get up here with the strimmer, I can maintain this without getting caught on my head, which is even better. And yeah, like I say, in the future I'll be coming back and doing the rest of this. Now I actually own a shredder, so excellent. Right, well I'm going to end this video here. If you enjoyed it, do leave a like and do subscribe, because like I say, I've got a few projects lined up to use that shredder on. And yeah, so I'm going to end this video here. See you later.